All right. So now we're gonna be doing the awards for the season, mid-season. What do we think? What our predictions for each reward is for the players? First off, I'm gonna start with Rookie of the Year. A lot of people will say Daniels, but I would choose Malik Neighbors.
Ooh,
Um,
I like it. I like it.
I do
Personally,
respect the
he's
Malik Neighbors pick.
been the best receiver in my opinion out of all the rookies, and he's been thriving even in a rough situation in the Giants with Daniel Jones. So even with that quarterback, he's still been really good. So and then now on to the offensive player of the year. I'm gonna choose Baker Mayfield because it's Baker. He's been cooking. He was also on past years. He was a comeback. He was one of the nominees for the comeback player of the year because he's literally just been balling out once he got to the Bucks. So um, also defensive player of the year, I'd have to go T.J. Watt because he just had a big game and this whole season he's been really elite as usual, and I think he deserves it because he was also a nominee for last season for Defensive Player of the Year, and I think he should get it this season. Um, Comeback Player of the Year, I'm gonna have to go Kirk Cousins, going to a new team, the Falcons, and he's been really showing up for them in big time situations, and I think he can really be a good factor for them, and I think he's a runner up for that award easily. Most disappointing for me, hate to say it, but Travis Etienne, being a fantasy owner of him, that one really hurt. Hit the soul a little. I've been having him on my team for the past few seasons of fantasy, and he's always been really, really good for me. Very productive,
You know,
getting me a
top
lot of
three
points each
last year.
season. Yeah, and then out of nowhere, it just seems like everybody on the Jaguars has kind of been lackluster and kind of disappointing overall. And you can't really blame that on him entirely. The coaching situation in Jacksonville is not the greatest. I think Khan is also an idiot. Um, yeah, very
Yeah.
disappointing.
Funny, speaking of Khan, he said entering this year, this is the best Jaguars team he's ever had.
That just explains what I just said.
Best team they have had. So funny. What about you, Evan? Who are you going with?
So I'm actually going to start off with my MVP so far. I think the MVP of the first half. Obvious. I'm repping one of his receivers, Josh Allen. I think we got to give him credit. Last year, the only reason he didn't get MVP is all we could hear was interception machine, turnover machine. Well, he's got no turnovers so far this year, and he's throwing a ton of touchdowns. He's running everywhere, and he just got Amari Cooper. I think Josh Allen deserves MVP, and I think the fact that he's not leading right now for MVP shows that for some reason he's just disliked among the league, and I just think it's undeserved. I think my offensive player for the first half of the year is Nico Collins. He's missed, I think, 2 or 3 games so far, and he still is one of the top yards for wide receivers. I think if he was healthy right now, he'd still be leading by a ton. Like, first off, beautiful jerseys by Houston. Gotta love those. But I just think he looks so good. The connection between him and Stroud is just elite, one of the best in the league. And another one of my Michigan boys, just had to put it out there. Um,
Saw
my
that one
rookie of the
coming.
year is a bit the same. Just I'm gonna go Daniels. I mean, there's so many rookies this year that I want to pick, but I think Daniels is just obviously after that Hail Mary. I'm not gonna pick someone else. I mean, Tariq Stevenson, get him off the roster after what he did. I can't
For
believe it.
real.
He was
For
supposed to be on Noah Brown,
real.
tips the ball to Noah Brown. Scary Terry making a nice catch right there. I mean, like, Daniels is awesome. My defensive player of the year for the first half is Hutchinson, another guy who's injured and still one of the sack leaders. I think he's just phenomenal. I mean, like, Detroit across the board, like, you can't not root for Detroit. Like, they're lovable. Another one of my Michigan boys saying that a lot today. But it's amazing. I'm glad that they got him. He's just such a game changer. And it's unfortunate to see him hurt, but he'll come back strong next year. And then I'm going to go into comeback player next. I'm going to go with J.K. Dobbins. I mean, everyone kind of had a feeling if he stayed healthy, he could play like this. But to see him actually do it, it's just nice to see. He's a great running back. I think he fits perfectly with Harbaugh's system. Another one of my Michigan boys in Harbaugh. My most surprising player is Kamara, which I think doesn't really make a lot of sense because we expect this from Kamara. But I just think with the injuries he's been dealing with, I think everyone was kind of expecting him to slow down, the Saints not to be that good this year. And just to see the way he's played, like, you got to love seeing Kamara play like this. I've been surprised by it. And to finish it off, my most disappointing, and he somehow leads in MVP odds, Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like, Patrick Starfish over here needs to stop turning the ball over. And it's just insane. Like, I get it. Like, he's missing Pacheco. He's missing Rice. He's missing Hollywood Brown. But those aren't the ones turning the ball over. He's turning the ball over. And I think they're getting carried by the defense. And I think the refs, to be honest, have bailed them out a lot of the times this year. I just don't see how this team is undefeated. I think if we could have gone back to the other segment, I think they're pretenders. I just don't see him really doing much this year. I think it's disappointing, and I think he'll come back, but it's just very disappointing from him.
Mm-hmm. Nikos, did we get your MVP?
No, you did not.
Okay, who is it?
With MVP, I don't even know, man.
Jalen Ramsey?
Hey. Oh. Think on it. We'll come back. I'll go with mine. I'm going to go with my MVP. I hate it because I am not a Josh Allen fan historically. This is very well known to people who know me. I'm not the biggest Josh Allen fan. I think he has a big turnover problem historically. I'm one of those people. But this year, Josh Allen, he truly has been the MVP. He got his weapons taken away. No more Diggs this year. He said, I don't need Diggs, and he has continued to ball. Has played, honestly, even better. He said that not having to force feed a guy and just being able to open up the offense to whoever, it truly has worked for him. Shakir has been a great security blanket for him. Keon Coleman has been breaking out the last couple games. And then also adding Amari Cooper, that offense looks ready to roll over there in the AFC. Then my next award, Offensive Player of the Year, I'm going to have to go with the normal same thing as Evan. You ended up going with Nico Collins. I went with
Collins,
right? Yeah, so I'm going to be the lone guy. I'm going to go Derrick Henry for this one. He has just been an absolute monster. I thought he was starting to take a step back. I was honestly worried about how he'd end up playing in a Ravens uniform. Truly, it seems like Tennessee is just built different for sucking because he has all of a sudden it seemed like he turned back the clock like he's 28 years old again, and he is just running through people like it's nothing. He's prime vintage Derrick Henry over there in Baltimore. Next, I'm going to have to go with my most disappointing player. Well, this one is easy for me. I drafted this man in both fucking fantasy leagues I'm in. For the record, I blame a lot of this on Anthony Richardson and how bad he has been doing, but also the emergence of Josh Downs has also hurt this man. Michael Pittman is just he's still the same guy. He doesn't seem that different, okay? But it's just he's taken a big step back after getting a big contract, like over $100 million, I think, in the offseason. Just taking that step back.
Trade candidate.
Yeah, he is a big trade candidate right now. And I'm just going to have to say, especially with all the receivers that have been getting traded, it has been crazy, but he's going to be my most disappointing player. But my defensive player of the year, I would have gone Aiden Hutchinson with Evan, but I just wanted players who were still healthy at the moment. So because of that, I ended up going with good old Fred Warner. He has 66 tackles on the year right now, a sack, 6 deflections, 2 picks, and 4 forced fumbles, and a tutty. He's just seen all over the field. He's helping out in the secondary, helping out in the front 7, obviously as a linebacker front 7, but helping up out front. The only thing that he can't do is apparently tackle Patrick Mahomes, which he probably won't make the Super Bowl this year, so that issue won't be an issue when it comes down to it. My next award is the Comeback Player of the Year. And this one, I think you guys will like this one. And I think you guys will think, oh, I wish I thought of that maybe. I'm going to go with Christian Gonzalez, who has been an absolute lockdown corner this year.
Valid.
He was a lockdown corner last year as a rookie, but then got hurt very early on with, I think it was a torn ACL, left him out for the year. And then this year, picking up right where he left off, already like a top 10, at least top 10 corner in the NFL, if not higher. He has been just absolutely insane, being able to jump routes, break up catches from the receiver. He has been all over the field. And one of the bright spots on a weakening Patriots defense this year. My next one, Rookie of the Year. I mean, I got to go Jaden Daniels, too. He's going to win it. I really like the Malik Neighbors pick. I think he's been the second best offensive rookie. But just Jaden Daniels, it's a QB. It's not a QB award, that's MVP. But Rookie of the Year, if there's a really good rookie QB, it's going to go to him. So I think I'm going to have to go with him. And then surprising player, this guy really broke onto the scene for me this year. Last year, he couldn't even get past Miles Sanders. And that's Chuba Hubbard. I have really liked this guy coming out of college. His rookie year, he showed flashes of greatness. His first full year, really getting into it. Last year, couldn't get it past Miles Sanders and just was stuck behind the guy. Well, even then, he had higher snap percentages sometimes, but he would just completely suck. But this year, even behind a battered team, less receivers, injured at receiver, he's still being able to pick up yards, find holes in that weak O-line. Actually, no, their O-line's really good. I take that back. They have a couple of top-tier O-linemen, but they're helping pave the way for a good year for Chuba Hubbard.
I like him.
And you, Nikos, have you thought of an MVP yet?
It's so hard with the MVP one for me. Because I want to say Josh Allen just because it's literally going to be one of his better seasons. And that's crazy to say because he's had so many really freaking good seasons and he's already on track for a very good one this season as well.
Is this the longest we've seen a quarterback throw 0 interceptions?
That's a good question.
I
would
feel
have
like that's
to
not
say
being
the
talked
only ones
about
I can
enough.
think of off the top of my head, there was Brady in 2016. He only threw he went 28 touchdowns, 2 picks. I don't know when he threw that first pick though. Aaron Rodgers had a couple seasons where he was only throwing 5 picks and didn't have picks for the longest time. So it's got to be, if it's not Allen now, it's got to be Rodgers or Brady 6-7 years ago. Maybe one of the
maybe
MVP
someone from
years.
1960 that holds that for some reason.
But Allen has been absolutely insane with his ball. He really took that criticism to heart. He really has. You know who else could really take that criticism to heart? Jordan Love. Fucking throws 2-3 picks a game. He'll throw 3-4 touchdowns, but he's gonna throw 2-3 picks as well.
It's crazy too because I feel like he has debatably a top 3 wide receiver room in the league, and to have 4 guys and a tight end and a running back, 6 total guys you can throw to on any given play, and not a single one's open, and you're gonna throw it right at the defense. It's it's disappointing. Also, him and May screwed me in one of my other leagues. We're doing a 2-quarterback league. Both of them get hurt right away.
Yeah. I luckily didn't get screwed over too much with him getting hurt this past season.
I didn't have that happen with May in my other one. How did that feel, Austin? Lost to the 1-6 team, baby.
All right. I should have played Bucky. I wasn't ready for Michael Pittman.
I should have played Lad.
He has a point there.
We can play that game.
Nikos, I'm pretty sure we got all your awards. I didn't miss another one, did I?
No, I don't think
I
so.
think we got them all, yeah.
Okay.